Hi guys, I want to give you, as we progress to more earlier chapters, this is going to become a lot easier, as you can see. The key thing is about chapter 5 is it's about structure and control structure. It's control structure 2, so you're going to deal with a lot more with the while loop and a lot of the pretest and loop with it as well. One of the things I wanted to turn your attention, if you look at page 261, 262 in your book. And if you look at that page, there are examples that you're going to see 261 to 62, the while loop with it. You're going to see something very comparable. If you recall the while loop on page 261-262, you recall the while loop, it always starts out with some sort of initialization. Right, so you have to initialize something in here, and then you're going to do some sort of while loop that you're going to test this thing with some sort of, the second thing is the expression in this thing, right, the test expression. So inside of this is what you're going to do, is do some sort of test expression in this, and more important, inside of this block, remember now, you have a block here, so you need to update. So three things I want to update statement in here. So three things I want to really make it very clear in a while loop. Make sure you understand this later on, especially if you ever have me for Java. You should know this. The first thing is to initialize. That's outside the loop, right before the loop. The second part is test the expression, and the third part is you have some sort of update that statement to make this to follow out to be a false statement with it. All right, so it exits outside this block of this code. Now you understand. I'm going to give you some sort of snippet code of what I just said. You need to give me what's the output. So something like initialize, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you to, here's a test expression, give me an update of what that is. Okay, so I wrote 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, two test questions, two questions off of that. So 2 multiple choice questions on while loop. So that's make sure you understand that. The other piece I want you to know is if you look on page 262, make sure you understand what is an infinite loop in this thing. Alright, so page 262, I want you to know the definition of an infinite loop. Infinite loop for me, please. Alright, that's going to become very, very critical in your 1437 class with it. So that's the one of the question. The last couple of questions I want to ask you here is on page 2. If you refer to page 289, that's your first time exposing to the for loop. Now you look at your for loop in this, there's examples of 5-9, 5-10. You're going to see something very comparable. Understand the for loop. So when you understand the for loop, here's what I want you to know about the for loop. You start out with some this expression that needs to be initialized, some value that you declare and you initialize at the same shot, and then you do test expression in here, and then you update. Okay, and inside of this, if this is true, then you're going to do some sort of statement that takes place in here. Okay, so I'm going to do statement 1, let's say, and then I'm going to do statement 2. Alright, now it's very important that initialize and test expression goes in, does this, and then it updates, which means it's post-update. You got it? It post-updates, and then it tests the expression again, does this iteration until this becomes false, and you come outside of that loop. So here's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you 2 of these problems, right, of the for loop for you to do. So like I said, you have 2 multiple choice on the for loop. Okay, so that's that for the chapter 5.